بسم الله وبه بدينا ولا عبدنا خير وشكينا وحبنا وحب دينا اللهم صل على محمد وصل على محمد كلما غفلان ذكر غافلا coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina Munawwara heralded a whole new social order. The main problem that had to be dealt with was, of course, that the Muhājirīn coming to Medina Munawwara, they had nothing to their names. And the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam resolved this was that each Muhājir was paired with a Anṣārī, a person from Makkah, with a person of Medina. And this wasn't by force in the sense that people felt it a burden. The Anṣār were very hospitable people, very open-hearted people, and they were very, very willing to help their brothers and sisters from Makkah. And Allah praises them in the Qur'an that they give preference to others over themselves, even when they are in abject poverty. Such was the nature of the Anṣār, the people of Medina. Of course, Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam praise them, but that does not mean that we should exaggerate and change the narrations. Saʿd bin Rabīʿah al-Anṣārī radiyallahu anhu was paired with ʿAbduraḥmān bin ʿAwf radiyallahu anhu. Saʿd bin Rabīʿah radiyallahu anhu offered to give him half his wealth, and he said, I have two wives, I will divorce whichever one you wish, and you can marry her. That is true. It is not true to say that every Anṣārī gave his wealth and divorced his wives for the Muhājirīn. That is now an exaggeration. And even in the case of Saʿd bin Rabīʿah, he certainly made an offer and obviously made it sincerely with no wish for worldly recompense. But on the other end of the scale, ʿAbduraḥmān bin ʿAwf, he refused this offer. He said, show me where's the market and I will trade, I will earn my own living. So in that also is the example for us as Muslims. Allah has put us all in different positions, and whatever position we are in, we look at what is the command for us in that position. Meaning that, for example, if I am a rich person, God's command for me is to help those less fortunate. If I'm a poor person, the command for me is to make myself self-sufficient and not go begging. So I don't look at the other way around. I'm rich, a poor man comes, so now the command for me is to give if I can. Not telling, hey, you're supposed to be self-sufficient in Islam, go away. That is not my position. Similarly, the poor person, he shouldn't point fingers at the rich that yes, it's your duty to give us. If he's forced to, that is a different issue, but the primary command for the poor person is work, seek work, try and make yourself self-sufficient. If all else fails, then you accept and you seek sadaqah, the help of the rich. That is one example, but in every given situation, if each person, like husband and wife, marriages fall apart like that. When each person points that is your duty, that is your duty. Look at what is your duty, what is Allah commanding you in any kind of relationship, and then that relationship will work. If you look at what the other person is supposed to do, the relationship will never work. So this was called the Muʻākhāh, the creation of the brotherhood, which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam instituted, and never in history was there such love between such utter strangers. Even in South Africa today, we still have the xenophobia, we still haven't dealt with our issues of how to deal with foreigners and how do foreigners integrate in our society, because we've lost focus on the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was so much so, this Mu'ākhāh, that the original stages of Islam, before the rules of inheritance were revealed, the Muhājirīn were included as heirs, inheritors of the Anṣār. And obviously a major part of Medina society at that stage was the Jews. A very small handful of them actually embraced Islam. We discussed Abdullah bin Salam radiallahu anhu, but he was more the exception rather than the rule. They had the knowledge, they had the recognition, but they chose not to accept Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to oppose him in various ways. One, conspiracy. Some people don't like this word conspiracy. The Qur'an speaks about conspiracies. One conspiracy that the Jews hatched, and the Qur'an mentions this conspiracy of theirs, is that a group of them came out and then they said that we intended to accept Islam. And then after a while, then they went saying, no, you know what? Now that we actually spend time with the Muslims and with Muhammad, now we see this is not actually a real religion. This was psychological warfare, because if they had to announce from the beginning, look here, we are against Islam, people say, yes, but you are Jews, you are against Islam, so what? But now, using these tactics, they pretended to become Muslim and then said, no, now we found out it's just a bunch of nonsense and this is this is a false prophet. So that could really create doubts in the minds of people. So it's to do things like that, psychological warfare. The three major tribes, the Banu Nadir, they tried to kill Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to that extent, and so they were expelled from Medina. The Banu Qaynuqa were involved in a very low-life incident where a Muslim woman was stripped naked in the marketplace, and this also led to fighting and their expulsion from Medina. The last tribe of the Jews remained for 5 years in Medina. They were the Qurayza, and all of them, a pact was signed that they would help the Muslims. We were sharing one city, we're citizens of the same city. We will be helping each other in defense as per need. And in the 5th year of Hijrah, which we'll discuss inshallah, the Battle of Khandaq, Battle of the Trench, when all the tribes came to attack Medina, they were expected to help the Muslims, but instead they helped the Kuffar outside of Medina. And after the battle, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is taking off his armor. Jibreel alayhi salam appears, what are you doing? Rasulullah replies, what he's doing. And Jibreel alayhi salam says, but us, the angels, we haven't taken off our armor. Qurayza still has to be punished for what they have done and betrayed the Muslims. And so Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam commands that the announcement should be made throughout Medina, لا يصلين أحد الأسرى إلا بقريظة. This was after Dhuhr. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the announcement made, none of you shall pray Asr except at Qurayza. In other words, you must gather now there, we can do battle the Qurayza. Very important incident, more than the issue of Qurayza itself. So the Muslims are now gathering from wherever they were that they heard the announcement. One group of Sahaba were very far off. They all obey, they're all coming to Qurayza, but this group, the sun is already starting to set, and they haven't made their Asr, and they're not going to reach Qurayza. So now they say, now what do? We haven't prayed Asr, and the sun is setting. The work will be finished. It's going to be Maghrib by the time we get there. And so they split into two. They had two different opinions. The one said that, look here, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam meant that we must hurry to get there and make our Asr. We couldn't make it, so we will make our Asr here. The other group said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam explicitly said clearly, you will not pray your Asr except at Qurayza. We are not praying for Asr whether the sun is set, whether the moon is set. We don't care. We're making our Asr at Qurayza, whatever time we reach there. So they split. The one made the Asr, the other waited till they reached there, and then only they made Asr, but it's already the time of Maghrib. So which side did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam choose? He didn't choose any side, because each acted according to Islamic principles, according to their sincerity, in obedience to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Although they did exactly opposite to each other, they were both right. They were not, neither was rebuked. There might be shades of differences and say which is more right than the other, if you get technical, and there are unfortunately technical people like that in the world, but neither was wrong. And this was in the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the life and in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The two groups of Muslims could have differences of opinion and act exactly opposite to each other, and this was not a problem. But today, loud dhikr, soft dhikr, this chicken slaughter, that chicken slaughter, whatever things we can make a difference with each other, we must make a difference with each other, and we cannot accept each other's differences, and I am right and everybody else is wrong. And this is so contrary to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an example of the Sahaba. One more example like that. Today was the 17th of Ramadan, the date of the Battle of Badr, which is only tomorrow's discussion. But Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu narrates, now there was still no third Ramadan fast up till the first year of the Hijrah. The second year of Hijrah, when the Battle of Badr was going to be fought, this was the first third Ramadan. And Abu Sa'id al-Khudri narrates that we went out marching with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for battle, and some of us continued to fast, and some of us chose to break our fast because they are musafir and they're going to be fighting in battle. And it says, but those who fasted found no fault with those who broke their fast. And those who broke their fast, the muftir, did not find fault with the sa'im, those who continued keeping their fast. In the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, two exact opposite actions, but the Sahaba had no problems with each other. But we must have problems with each other on differences of opinion. Allah guide us all.